they are addicted. Addicted to what that guy brings, creates, and gives to her. Do you remember the time before internet when we were naive to think that every relationship should be like those that are portrayed by Disney and Hollywood? But today is a different era. We have knowledge, we have examples, we have proof. Internet allowed us to share notes, analyze and deeply understand human nature, specifically in relationships and intimate romantic ones. And today we will be discussing why some women prefer to be the second one. That said, second one for a guy who is worth it. And who is better to assist us in this journey than lovely Anna Akana.
So I have a friend who is the other woman. Just kidding, it was me. It was me years ago. I'm just throwing this video into a wormhole to the past to warn myself about my doomed emotional affair. If you're the other woman, let me tell you right now, run, go, get out. Look, I know that they're probably telling you.
I'm gonna break up with them. I'm just waiting for the right time, babe. I wanna be with you, and I will be. Soon. Eventually.
The truth of the matter is that most people prefer to make their own mistakes. If you are trying to play a teacher, a master, a guru, trying to convince a confused soul about this and that, the lessons of life, what to do and what not to do, whom to keep close and whom to keep on a distance, they will hear you, but they won't understand you, because wisdom is something that has to be internalized. That's the difference between knowledge and wisdom, where you live out the knowledge that you have learned through life. And for her to tell young ladies to not be the other woman is kind of a moot point. Of course, it will resonate with some, those who have already been through this experience. But majority of girls who are the second woman are not doing that because of some kind of a rational reasoning. They're doing because of feelings, emotions. They are addicted. Addicted to what that guy brings, creates, and gives to her. The experience of being the other woman can be described with just one word: magic. She is living in a fantasy. She is living in a dream. She is living the life she wants.
But surprise, surprise, to absolutely no one except my past self. Oh my god. Oh, girl, just a heads up. Everything he said is a lie. He's a liar.
What? No, I'm not. How are you doing that? Anna, baby, your future self is totally wrong. Oh my god, dude, stop. John Jacob Jingle Jangleheimer Smith. Pudding. Kumquat. Ah!
I think the problem with being the other woman, the mistress, the side piece, is that we often overlook that these people are often manipulated. They're given hopium that they're not gonna be in this entangled affair for too long.
Let's be honest, many women who end up being the second one weren't planning on staying for so long. They just felt excited, it was something very unusual, they went along the ride, and then eventually feelings got caught. They realized that they want something more. They realized that they want to lock him down so that the experience never ends. But usually those kind of men are already taken by one or maybe even multiple other women. But it's so obvious that you shouldn't stay in that kind of a relationship. Why should you choose to be the second one? Why should you not prioritize yourself? Why should you let someone else to put you on a burner as a second-class citizen? Because that kind of a man that she's being the second for are almost non-existent. To acquire the resources that she is loving so much, to acquire the knowledge, the wisdom, to build up a charming character, to become a gentleman, all of that demands a lot of time, dedication, and willingness to grow. Very few will ever attempt to climb up that pyramid. And for those reasons, many females choose to be the other woman. Much rather that than some kind of a sitcom dad type of a guy. You know, Ray Romano or Homer Simpson. Women crave emotional roller coaster. They need their feelings to be stimulated, which is what they cannot get from fuddy-duddy guys.
That they're just in this transitory phase that's leading to a relationship. And I know that's sort of a general statement, right? Because I can't cover every single instance of affairs that have ever happened. But in my personal experience, no one I know who has been like the other person wants to stay the other person and have been led to believe that commitment is on the table eventually. And we often vilify the other woman way more than we do the person who was in the committed relationship. It's sort of like,
for the counts of armed robbery, murder in the first degree, obstruction of justice, and aggravated assault, I sentence you to 3 months in jail.
I wouldn't judge those kind of women. I would say that I understand them. Let's say the heart wants what the heart wants. And if you want a hotshot guy, you have to sacrifice something. like exclusivity, which in reality goes against a woman's biological imperative, wanting a guy who could invest time and resources in their genetic future. It's easy to be a wise guy when you had that experience which led to nothing, then come back and try to lecture youngsters about the same mistakes. But when you're young, when you're there, when you're in the heat of the moment, you want that all.
It was some very intense and powerful lovemaking, Hank. What's wrong?
Not a big fan of that term, lovemaking, making love. I prefer boning, stuffing, stooping, banging, porking, boffing. Anything, take your pick, just not lovemaking.
You're kind of naive thinking that you can have the best from both worlds, the excitement and the provisioning parts merging.
For driving the getaway car, I sentence you to life in prison.
Wait, what?
Life in prison.
But I didn't even step foot in the bank. I didn't carry a gun. I just sat in a car and listened to music.
Life in jail. Gavel, gavel, gavel. Gavel, gavel, gavel. It's really hard to say fast.
And even if they do leave the relationship, then what? Do you think that's a great foundation for trust? I think it sows the seeds of insecurity that this person is gonna leave you for someone else eventually. And look, I get it's hard. When you have feelings for someone, when you love them, and they're telling you that this deceit or betrayal that you're partaking in is just a means to an end, it's really easy to justify that what you're doing is for love.
This goes back to the other video that I did with Anna Kana, where she was talking about friends with benefits and why that doesn't work. It's the same principle here. When women date someone that they regard to be something extra in their own eyes, eventually they will catch feelings. Because as I said in that video, we men, especially those of us who have options, can separate between sex and emotion. But for women, those two things come from the same source. Many times, also in my own personal experience, when they say that they are cool with whatever arrangement that you're having, eventually 1 week, 1 month, several months down the line, they start to catching feelings and want something more, something stable, exclusivity.
That this murky phase will end soon, but it very, very rarely ends the way that we think it will.
Hey, do you want to go out for coffee?
What?
I mean, you seem like a really interesting person to talk to, and I've been having a lot of relationship problems, and I'd love to talk to you about them, grow close to you, then dangle the hope of a relationship over you in order to partake in an emotional affair, and then just tell everyone you have an unrequited crush behind your back.
Are you serious?
About you.
Push him into the portal. I'm gonna set it over a volcano.
Volcano!
So throw him into a volcano.
Easier said than done. That kind of excitement doesn't happen every day. So when you come across one, when you have experienced a glimpse of what an exciting man can be, it's very difficult to let it go. Going back to why friends with benefits arrangement doesn't work for women as much as it does for successful men. If you have missed that video, watch it here. Tell me in the commentary section if you had this kind of an arrangement where the woman caught feelings and wanted something more. What was your reaction? That's all, folks. Yours truly, out.